I'm back again. This is Mutiu Olawuyi, the host, the producer of ArtFlakes. ArtFlakes on CBA, Codka, Bariga, Africa, the voice of East Africa. The only TV station in East Africa that has whatever you can talk about when it comes to media information, the best of the best you can find on CBA. But today, we're on ArtFlakes, where we also explore beyond what you can talk about. I'm not going to say much. We'll go back to the other side of the studio where I'm going to meet my guest. I won't tell you the name. I don't know whether it is the previous one or another person. By the time we get to the other part of the studio, you will know. This is ArtFlakes. Don't go away. Good morning. This is ArtFlakes on CBA, where we explore anything that has to do with creativity. Most people believe that when we're talking about ArtFlakes, we are only talking about literature. I think you are getting it wrong. ArtFlakes deals with anything that has to do with creativity in the area of humanities. Don't be surprised, we might take you out of this show, out of the studio, and go outside to show you how people have been using creativity to survive in this complicated world. Anyway, before we digress to something beyond why we're here, as I've told you last time, I gave you a suspense. I told you that we're going to go to a country. That country has a unique history, has something that no other East African countries ever had. And this country today is no other country other than Rwanda. We're going into the lifestyle of Rwandans, the Rwandans themselves, and their literature, because it is in their literature that you get to know more about the people. What has happened to them in the past, what is happening to them now, and what they feel will happen to them in future. Today with me again, I have my usual guest, Professor Dr. Umar Osabo. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dr.
Yeah, thank you for always coming to rescue us, to explore the content of the literary world of nowadays. We're focusing on East Africa. But let me remind you, I might invite you again next time to come back to Somali literature, because we've got a lot of Somali literary work that we have not explored. We've only explored Hadrawi, but there are other writers, poets, dramatists,
upcoming writers.
Not only upcoming ones, even established classical ones too, that we have not touched. By God's grace, we'll be going deeply into this. So today, we are talking about Rwandan literature. Generally speaking, people talk about history, and they look at the history from 16th century. I want to know, before 16th century, how was Rwanda? After 16th century, how was Rwanda? What is happening to Rwanda today? These are just three questions I want you to answer in one.
Well, Rwanda is a very interesting country in East Africa. The history of Rwanda actually started in the Neolithic age. It runs to the Middle Age, Stone Age, as well as the Ice Age. And a lot of things have happened in those periods, which we may not be able to talk about all of them. But by 16th century, Rwandans were able to organize themselves into kingdoms, or what we call chiefdoms, headed by monarchs. And it has been so up to the 19th century. Then by 19th century, King Nwami started a military conquest, decades of military conquest that resulted into the conquering of most other part of the country, where that led to what is known as Rwanda today. And because of the ethnic rivalry between the Hutus and the Tutsi, the Germans, though firstly the Germans came and later the Belgians came, and by 1962 the people were able to get their independence, and as soon as they have independence, they were able to have election.
Okay.
That is, they have a representative government.
Okay.
And under the leadership of President Grigo Kiamenda.
Okay.
So he has been on power up to 1973, where another Hutu by name
the RPF.
No, not the RPF. That was more. That was 1973. That's Rwanda Patriotic Front. That was in the 1970. 74. That was in 1970. That was in 1990. When that was formed. So another Hutu took over.
Agate.
No, another Hutu.
Not Agate.
No,
another Hutu set.
Another Hutu took over power. And he has been on power up to 1990, where about 1,000 Rwandan refugees in the neighboring Congo form what they call Rwanda Patriotic Front. So about 10,000 of them, and they came into the country, and they conquered the country, and in the process they killed Hibamenda, you know, one difficult name. I'm finding it very difficult for now. They now killed the president. So that it's a catalyst to the Rwandan genocide.
That is where I'm going.
Okay.
When you talk about Rwanda,
the
first thing that will get to the mind of the people is genocide. I want you to talk about what happened in 1994. You know, that is what I see as a transition to what is happening today. 1994 genocide.
Yes, the 1994 genocide's remote causes and immediate causes. It started many years back before even the 1994 genocide. Actually, the people who spearheaded or who led the activities that ended up in what we refer to as Rwanda genocide of 1994 were actually the 10,000 Rwandans who were in Congo. They were refugees in Congo from the previous war. So they put themselves together and they came to the country, and they conquered the country. It was in the process that they killed Habyarimana. Habyarimana was the second guy who took over from the first president of the country who was the president since 1962 when they got their self-government. So the genocide was what also led to the Rwandan civil war. The civil war, then a lot of people were now killed, which led to massive immigration. People ran out of the country and they were all heading.
So they emigrated.
They migrated to Congo, to the neighboring Congo, adding to the number of other refugees who were there before.
That should be before 1994. I'm more interested in when they relocated. Well, that was before 1994. They moved to Congo.
They were relocation and and
I think it was after too. They also relocated. There was a massive relocation after 1994.
Even before 1994. Even before 1990.
Because we're coming back to Congo, Rwanda discussion.
Yes, where I have good understanding of what has happened in those two countries. You see, even before the 1990, that the Rwanda Patriotic Front was formed by 10,000 refugees, Rwandan refugees.
Over 10,000 of them.
Over 10,000 of them who are in Congo. There were other refugees from other parts of African countries who were also in Congo. Then, after the 1994 genocide, a lot of people were also migrating again to Congo. Then the Tutsi who were now in charge, they castrated, imprisoned, killed many Hutus. And as the Hutus, who were originally in power because they produced two presidents, started running out of the country to Congo, then the Hutus government now put a stop to it. But the Congo government did not stop the Hutus from the Rwandan refugees from coming in. So the Hutus, the Tutsi government now used its might, its power to dethrone the president of Congo of Congo. That was what led to the first Congo Civil War. Even after the Civil War, people were still migrating. Then the Hutus government again tried all it could to replace the government. That was what led to the second Congo War.
Yeah.
So the second Congo Civil War was generally said to be the bloodiest war after the Second World War. That is to say, the number of people that were killed in the Congo in the Second Congo Civil War can only be compared with the number of people who died during the Second World War.
Okay.
So after this, the government, the Hutus government, were in power until after a very long period.
Now I want us to now go into the modern period.
Yeah.
How is Congo now? I mean, how is Rwanda now? You know, compared to their experience in the past. They still having the same problem, or has there been transition or something meaningful has ever been done in the country?
One of the fastest growing African country today, based on record and the material consulted. I think Rwanda is at the forefront of development. It's one of the fastest growing African country because they learn from
Kigali. The president Kigali is really working hard there. Yeah.
They have seen it all. They've seen the good.
There's nothing good that can come from war.
There's nothing good that can come from war.
Yeah.
So they have learned their lesson. They have learned the bitter lesson from their past experience. So I think they have reconciled their differences, the ethnic rivalry, and what have you that has been causing the crisis all this while has been resolved, and I think the country has bounced back.
All right, let's now go into the literature of these people. We've just talked about their history, and what can you say generally about Rwandan literature?
Generally, Rwandan literature is orally documented, but in its oracy, it has two forms. There is official literature and there is ordinary literature. If a literary piece or composition is or has the approval of the royal court, such a literature is referred to as official.
Tradition,
It's official. No, official. Official. And if that literature is official, then it is considered to have the backing or the support of the government of the day. Then they also have another oral literature which is referred to as unofficial. But there is no clear-cut definition of the features or characteristics of what makes official literature, oral literature of the Rwanda, and from what is not official. It's just that if a literary composition has the support of the court, of the royal court, then it is referred to as official.
So how has language influenced their writing generally?
Well, generally there has been little about, there were little writing in the native Rwanda language. Most of their writings, like the writings about most of the Rwanda genocide, and even before the genocide, were documented in French. And French language was introduced in Rwanda in 1916 when the Belgium came. So it has been
this 1916 is 1816, 1916. It was after 100 years of the arrival of the non-conformists in America. No, it was 1620, sorry.
1620.
Something 1616 keep coming to my mind, 1916, 1914, year of amalgamation in Nigeria, all sort of things like that. All right, so I think there was also English language along the line. There was translation from French to English like that.
There are a lot of things that happened. English language didn't just came.
They just come like that. Yeah.
In the days of their crisis, a lot of Rwandans migrated to neighboring countries, some of which or most of which were English-spoken countries. So the people learned English, got acquainted with English. Another factor again, as English
in Congo,
as English is gradually becoming a global language. So English appears to be a global lingua franca, whereby out of every 10 persons in the world, you find 4 or 3 persons are speaking English presently or more. So, and the native Rwandans, they want the history or the remote and immediate causes of what led to the genocide, the Rwandan Civil War, the Congo First Civil War, and the Second Civil War, and all that, to get to the West. So they started writing in English. So French was a dominant language.
Because it was a French colony automatically.
It was a dominant language. It was the language of instruction. It was the language they used. It is their official language. All the official documentation were done in French. From 1916 to up to 2010. It was as from 2010 that French ceased to be official language or the language of instructions in school. Then now Rwandans are using English. English is now the language of instruction. English is now the official language. Therefore,
so technically you are telling me that the French colonial masters have been defeated by the British colonial master. They were defeated after, because there was war among all these colonial masters. Italians were struggling. If you look at this East Africa in particular, they dismantled empires. The Abasa Empire, the Adal Empire, even this Adal Empire, they destroyed everything. They took the French part, the Djibouti. They took one part, the French people took that side. You have the Anglophone colonial masters. They took the Somaliland area, and they left the remaining part for the Italians. And the Ethiopians too, because they were also traditional African colonialists. They colonized these areas before. They also took one part of that empire. They cut it and put it on their own side there. If you also look at the other parts, you see Kenyans too took one side of the massacre. That was the game. Divide and rule system. But I have never read. That's why I told you from the beginning of this show that they have very unique history. I've never read where after colonialism you have a switch in foreign language in any country.
Yes, I have not heard of that.
That's why I told you from the first go that something unique has happened.
Would it be that
as far as Rwanda is concerned,
technically I would say yes. Because when I read the text, some of the texts, literary texts in particular, in line with the history of Rwanda, I could say technically French has been defeated in that part of the world, because those people were colonized by the French. But today, by 2010, they changed from using French as their official language to English. So I could say in a way that French has been defeated somehow. Though, French with their idea of assimilation, there could be some element of French culture that is still with the people. And you could still see a lot of people who are still speaking French, who are still
automatically you can't kick out the whole thing out of the system.
But the dominant language in their country today is English. Because if from the material I consulted, if I could be made to understand that French ceases to be the official language of that country, it means that English has a day and is still having its day in that country.
There's also another thing in their local language. There's this Kinyarwanda.
Kinyarwanda,
All right, Kinyarwanda. happened to be the language that they were using earlier to communicate. Does it mean that there are no writers writing in Kinyarwanda again?
No, they were writing in Kinyarwanda, but the issue is, Kinyarwanda French texts are now being translated. There is a huge translation of those texts going on. As I speak, there are scholars translating, especially
from the local language and colonial language to another colonial language. Very interesting.
To another colonial language. I think that is what, because from the look of things, the Rwandans are more interested in English because of the globalization of English, the domination
to
of
connect
English, to connect
with the outside
with the Western world.
So
that the Western world will understand what has happened during the genocide, during the Rwanda Civil War, during the Congo First Civil War, and the Second Civil War, so that they could see the story and understand what has happened in those countries beyond what they read in the news and all that.
So can we just, because we have very short time remaining, can we just look at some of the authors that Rwandans have been able to produce? Generally speaking, when we get to the second part of the show, we will look at the content of their texts. Who are some of these popular authors that Rwandans have been able to produce, and how far have they gone in the literary world?
I think Rwanda have great literary writers. I never knew, not until when I was studying their literature of late. One of those great writers is Maggie Coria. We have another one by name Alex Kigame. We have Benjamin Sehin. We have
Kigame must be related. Alex must be related Kigame. With. Maybe it's related with
I wouldn't know.
The president, because it's also Kigame.
Yes, Alex Kigame and among others. But there's this text about Alex Kigame. We are not discussing text this time around.
I don't want us to go deeply into.
Yes, I'm not going into text.
But I want to see how we can generally discuss about what they talk about in their work.
Yes, that's
the
area I'm
Which area are they specialists in when you talk about the genres of literature? Because we have in Kenya, we don't mostly talk about poetry. Kenyans are good at narrative writing, right? Stories generally. When you go back to Somali region, either the one in Kenya, the one in the south, the one in the north, which is Somaliland, or in Djibouti, or the one in Ethiopia, Jigjiga, and some other parts, they have one thing in common: poetry, right? What is common to them in Rwanda?
I think Rwanda, they have fantastic writers in all the genres of literature.
Okay.
They have good poets. They have good dramatists. They have good novelists. For instance, one of the best novels I have read about these people are The Ethnic Trap, as well as Fire Under the Cassock.
Okay.
The Ethnic Trap is a narrative
which we will discuss in detail.
But to say briefly about the story is
I like our viewers. I'm sorry, viewers. I just don't want you to know what to have in the cupboard or in the box. But I want you to wait until we get to the second part of the show. So that's why I'm trying to prevent my guest from getting deeply into this part. Because when we come back, by next week, when we go deeply into the textual aspect of the Rwandan literature, you will have no option other than to relax, other than to keep looking at us and say, what is it that these people have that we don't have in Somaliland, we don't have in Kenya, we don't have in Ethiopia, we don't have in Djibouti, we don't have in Sudan. We've talked about Tanzania. What is it that they have that Ugandans don't have? I want us to wait until we get to that part. Automatically, you'll be thinking, you'll be guessing that. I prefer you do your little research and wait for our guest to go deeply into the exploration. So Alex is a poet, a novelist, or a playwright?
Alex is a novelist.
Okay.
And he has very fantastic work.
Okay.
Like I was trying to just give a synopsis of one or two of his novel. the ethnic trap, is a very interesting novel. It points at the evil of ethnicity, racism, tribalism, which I think we have in most part of the world. There's this Hutu.
I don't want us to go into the text.
The story is just.
I don't want us. I want our viewers to be put in suspense.
Okay.
Until we get to the second part of the show.
Okay.
After Alex, who do we have next, please?
We have Maggie Coria. Maggie Coria, she writes mostly in French.
Okay.
She's an autobiographic writer.
Okay.
She writes mostly on biography. She also have work on the history.
So she has a lot of work in there.
Yeah, she has a lot of work on the history. She has a book on the history of Rwanda in connection to what led to the 1994 genocide.
Very good.
And many others.
Interesting, yeah.
Yes.
What about the poets? We are not talking about narrative writers.
We have one great poet. I have not heard of his name.
Okay. Is it Odile?
Not Odile. Odile, she's a playwright. The name, I'm finding it difficult to get the name.
But anyway, we're going to go deeply. It means that we have more of novelist and playwright, not more of a poet. We don't have much poets. If you have more poets, automatically you would have been able to get one. That's just one.
I just picked him.
Yeah.
I just picked him. Hiki Maboti is a founder of the Third World Press he was a founder of the Third World Press, which established in 1961. He also founded the Institute of Positive Education. He also started the Institute for Black.
So he's not known only as a poet. Then.
He's not only known as he's an educationist.
That's what I'm saying.
Journalist.
Then I need someone like Hadarawi that is known as a poet. We don't have that. We have people who are diversified, perhaps because of their education. Anyway, this is where we're going to have the cutting of this show. I'm very sorry, it's very short. We'll be going deeply into this one by the time we enter the second part of the show. Thank you so much for the short, and comprehensive and succinct exploration of the world of Rwandans. By the time we come back again, you will understand why I decide to create this suspense, why I say wait until we get to the second part of the show. ArtFlakes is not just any show that you can just watch and you feel that it's just like other ones. ArtFlakes is a unique show on CBA where we explore the best of what we have in every part of the world. Don't think that we're biased, we're just talking about East Africa. No. We are going to every part of the world, even beyond Africa. But this is the voice of Africa. Codka, Bariga, Africa. Automatically, we have to start from that voice, the roots of the voice itself. Charity begins at home. Thank you so much. Thank you for always getting yourself prepared to at least convey the message to the world about different parts of African world or even beyond through their literature. We shall be coming back again to explore the text of this part of the world. And I hope we'll have enough time to go deeply into their literature. All right, thank you so much for coming. This is ArtFlakes. See you next time.